Book title, Akhand Jyoti, July-August 2020. Chapter 9. Jahi Śatruṃ Mahābāho Kāmarūpaṃ Durāsadam. Now listen to the chapter. O mighty armed Arjuna, conquer this insatiable enemy of lust. Lord Shri Krishna is explaining to Arjuna the significance of self-control in the following two ilokas. Indriyasyandriyasyarthe rag-dvesha vyavasthita. Tayor navayam gacchetav hyasya paripantinau. Meaning, attraction and aversion of senses to their corresponding sense objects is unavoidable. However, one should not be controlled by them since they are obstacles in one's path. Iren swadharmo vigunya, paradharmat svanithita. Swadharme nidhana ireya paradharmo bhayavaha. 35.3. Meaning, one's own dharma, prescribed duty, though devoid of merit, is better than another's dharma perfectly followed. Even death is superior in performing one's own dharma. But following another's dharma is fraught with dangers. The Gita is a scientific book educating the people about the process of making a human being. Herein, Shri Krishna is opening the mysteries of man's failures in life to Arjuna. In Iloka 34.3, he says that in this diverse world, everyone may have one's own ragas and dveshas. The likes and dislikes of one person may not match with that of the other. Raga is a sense of attraction that a person experiences when he gets his favorite object or favorable atmosphere. For example, a drunkard would love a bottle of wine, and a sadhaka would prefer the fruits. We hate things that are against our passion. The kind of our desires decides the intensity of our love or hate for anything. That is why a person desirous of attaining salvation should be free from ragas and dveshas. The common man, however, should be alert so that the senses of attraction and aversion do not compel him to indulge in some heinous act. In fact, such tendencies should not become deep-rooted traits that may create problems later. Shri Krishna is advising that a person should undoubtedly conquer the lower tendencies, but should not go against his nature. Why? Because it is better to walk on one's chosen path than following others. The same thing has been said in Iloka 35.3. Sticking to one's dharma is better than adopting others' way of life. Dharma. Some scholars might feel that the Lord is orthodox and is propagating varnashram dharma. It may also appear that the then society was in favor of maintaining the status quo regarding the caste system. That is, the one who is born in the Kshatriya caste should be ready for war, and the Brahman should always follow an intellectual life. But when one contemplates deeply, one finds a mysteriously hidden meaning of this iloka. Swadharma, which has been talked about by the Lord, is nothing but our own desires and inner traits. Our lust guides them. Our nature forms our character, which becomes a medium for the expression of our persona in society. In order to become a better person, we should try to eliminate the cravings with which we are born by engaging ourselves in selfless work. This is dear to God. Param Puja Gurudev has explained the word Swadharma in the context of prescribed duty. He says, we should perform our prescribed duty considering it as Lord's work. One should not change one's path on getting allured by something. In the book Guruvar Ki Darohar Part 1, Amritvani, he says, in order to follow the principles, I have faced my opponents, Mahamandaleshwaras, Shankaracharyas, etc. Cut the bondage of golden chains, all my life. I have been fighting alone for you, the society, the world, and the rights of women. In order to fight immorality and impropriety, I have started Yug Nirman Yojana, plan for ushering a new era, and Vichar Kranti Abhiyan, thought revolution. In this context, I am a Rajput. Each and every pore of my being is filled with bravery and courage. Param Puja Gurudev, who has imbibed the philosophy of Brahmanism, is providing us the direct guidance through these words. How should our lives be? He has explained the Swadharma in the broader context of Dharma. In the present times, our dharma is to follow the path shown by our Gurudev. Propagate the thought current of Yug Nirman extensively. Be ready to refine the thoughts of everyone, including the self. This is Yug Dharma, the religion of our times. We have to make it our Swadharma. We must not go against it. listening to the cryptic discussion of Ilokas 34:3 and 35:3. The inquiring mind of Arjuna asks a question. Atakena prayuktoya papa karati purush. Anichinapi vurunyeya bali diva niyojita 36:3. Meaning, what is it that incites one to commit sinful acts, even against one's will? O Varshnaya, Krishna, as if compelled by force. This perennial question has been haunting the minds of human beings. Arjuna, too, wants to know who is that Satan, who incites him to sin, compels him to cross over his knowledge. Lord answers this question very lucidly. Kama esha krodha esha, rajogunya samudbhava, mahamanya mahapapa, vidya enami vairinyam. 37:3. Meaning, it is the lust that becomes anger arising from Rajoguna. Know this lust to be insatiable, extremely sinful, and all-powerful enemy in this world. When the desire to acquire something becomes a passion, then it takes the form of lust for using it. Any obstacle in the fulfillment of lust gives rise to anger. In a fit of rage, we infringe on our ideals and spoil ourselves in the process. Virtues cannot express themselves. Sex and anger are produced by Rajoguna, that is, mental restlessness for sense gratification. The sense of inner incompleteness makes us mad to acquire material objects and use them. The delay in obtaining such objects annoys us. It is the lust and anger that impel people, communities, groups, and nations to attack one another. That is why history has become a story of useless blood-stained destruction of human beings. Param Puja Gurudev used to say that we get burnt in the fire of lust. Anger and passion are the potent enemies of human beings. The more we try to appease, the more they get aggravated. If we can learn to do Bhagavad Karma, selfless work for the benefit of society, our emotions will automatically get satiated. Lord Shri Krishna says further, Dhumena vriyate, vanir yatadario malena cha. Yatol bena vuto garbhas, tata tene damustam. H. Avittar jona metena jonino, nitya vairinya. Kamarati kaunteya, duparenya nalena cha. 39:3. Meaning, just as fire is surrounded by smoke, as a mirror by dust, and as an embryo is covered by the womb, so is this knowledge enveloped by that lust. O Arjuna, the discrimination of even the knowledgeable is covered by this perpetual enemy of lust, which is like an unquenchable fire. Our ancient culture has been elucidating the complicated philosophy in a few words. In Iloka 38:3, 3 examples are given to demonstrate that the desires cover the wisdom of a person. These are the 3 curtains covering the knowledge. Therefore, unless the wall of the passions of senses crumbles, the light of truth cannot be seen. In the Adi Parva of epic Mahabharata, there is an anecdote. King Yayati had an unbridled passion for tasting the pleasures of life. So he took the youthfulness of his sons and enjoyed material pleasures for thousands of years. Even then, his lust was not satisfied. Finally, he handed over the reins of his kingdom to his son Puru and took sannyasa. There is no end to the pleasures of senses. Neither one gets peace in it. It is the renunciation that gives peace and leads to moksha, salvation. When the desire arises for completing some auspicious resolve and is reflected in the form of service to society, it is sattvic, virtuous. Though it is also covering the knowledge, but this covering is like a smoke surrounding the fire. Strong willpower, the grace of Guru, and the blow of good impressions are enough to remove this smoke and reveal the true nature of fire. So long as our desires are tamasic, a state of darkness, ignorance, lethargy, and inactivity, we will have to work hard to refine our lower traits. Lord has called Kamagni, sexual fire, as never satiating passion. It is the sex that is the fierce enemy of knowledge. In order to let Arjuna have an in-depth understanding of the topic, Sri Krishna says, Indriyani mano buddhir shadhiyahidi bana sanamanya parasan. Tasmat tvamindriyani adau niyamya bharata rishabha. Dapam prajahi hiyani nanam. Meaning, the senses, mind, and intellect are said to be the seat of lust. Coveting one's discrimination, the enemy of lust deludes the living entities. Therefore, O best of the Bharatas, Arjuna, first you must bring the senses under control and destroy this sinful lust, the destroyer of knowledge and realization. What Lord has explained to Arjuna is the essence of all the spiritual philosophies and the science of sadhana. It has been clearly said that lust confuses the senses, the mind and the intellect, and in the process leads to distress. The passion covers the light of knowledge, which makes the senses, mind and intellect get engaged in heinous crimes. That is why Lord is advising Arjuna first to control his senses and then do anything else. Param Puja Gurudev has advised that the control of senses, thoughts, time and money are essential for a social volunteer. Among the senses, he considered the control of tongue and sex to be very important. One who has controlled these two has conquered the self. Why only volunteers? It is also essential for a common householder. Puja Gurudev has explained in his literature the necessity of aswadvrat, eating food without salt, sugar and spices, brahmacharya, celibacy, and the practice of maun, keeping silence. According to him, the sadhana of Gayatri is successful only when the intellect is illumined after removing the cover of lust. Due to our negligence, we fall prey to lustful tendencies. That is why Lord Shri Krishna is warning us to keep awake. Do not sleep on the steering wheel. Do not allow wisdom to faint. For this purpose, Lord is again giving a formula in the last two ilokas of this chapter. Indriyani paranya hurindriyebhya paramana. Mansastu para buddhiryo buddheha. Paratastu sa. Iva buddhe para buddhva sastapyatmanam atmana. Jahi Śatruṃ Mahābāho Kāmarūpaṃ Durāsadam. 43:3. Meaning they say that the senses are superior to the body. Superior to the senses is the mind. Superior to the mind is the intellect. The one who is superior even to the intellect is individual consciousness. Thus, knowing this consciousness to be superior to the intellect, O mighty armed Arjuna, steady the mind by self-realization and conquer this insatiable enemy in the form of lust. It is a fascinating aspect of the poetry of Srimad Bhagavad Gita to highlight the essence of dhyana yoga after the completion of karma yoga and give a formula for living a holistic life. Herein, the Lord has shown the highway to self-realization by establishing that senses are superior to the physical body. The mind is superior to senses. Intellect is superior to the mind. And the soul is superior to intelligence. Thus, one can conquer the senses only after knowing the self. In the last two ilokas, Lord has fully exposed the human persona. We cannot understand how to control the senses unless we dive deeper. As getting rich is the solution of poverty, the establishment of peace is the solution of war. In the same way, keeping us away from intellect and achieving self-realization can we conquer the enemy of lust. In the last 10 ilokas of this chapter on Karma Yoga, Lord has taught Arjuna how can the supreme state of consciousness be awakened. Bringing the desires at the level of soul and making them pure, one can become desireless. In this state, the control of senses, mind, and intellect is done by the soul. When this regulation is achieved, the insatiable enemy of passion is destroyed, and a person becomes desireless. This is the essence of this chapter. In fact, living a selfless life is yagya. So, when the communities start living selfless lives, then the process of change of era begins. We find this philosophy in the thoughts of Param Puja Gurudev. We will complete this chapter with one anecdote. Lahiri Mahashaya was a common householder, but he was also an accomplished sadhaka. Once, he visited Benares, where he met Thailang Swami, a renowned sannyasi. The latter paid respects to Lahiri Mahashaya. Lahiri Mahashaya embraced him. The disciples of Sannyasi Thailang Swamiji said, "You are Avadut, a Siddha, an accomplished yogi. Then why did you pay respect to a householder?" Thailang Swami said, "This dhoti-clad person, by engaging in selfless work, has achieved that supreme element for which I had to abandon the clothes. Even an ordinary person can achieve self-realization if he lives a selfless life that is dedicated to the Lord. The context of Param Puja Gurudev and Mahatma Anand Swami also conveys that by the sadhana of desireless karma yoga, it is possible to achieve the supreme state.